talk about a right click on the mouse. I'm going to right click and I get to see all these options. I'm going to talk briefly about these options. We will talk in details about this option when we need to later in the course. So the first command that you see is basically the last command that I used. So I'm going to left click on the mouse, press escape, and I'm going to zoom in using mouse wheel. I'm going to select this, press E for the erase command, and press enter or spacebar. Now, if I right click now, you will notice the first command that you see here is erase, and it says repeat erase. So this will change according to your most recent command. We have recent inputs. This is basically a list of recent commands that I've used. If I draw a line, so I'll press L, spacebar, and I'm going to just quickly draw a line. Press escape to end the command. I'm going to right click, go to recent inputs, and now you see a line command is the first one. So this is a list of recent commands. You got a clipboard options like a copy paste. These are really basic options. You have a shortcut keys as well. Control X, Control C, Control Shift C, copy with the base point. We have isolate. So if I hover over my mouse, you see an option isolate objects, hide object, and object isolation. That same command is available here as well. So if I click here, you'll see isolate object, hide objects. So let's learn how to use it. Right click, click on isolate object. Now you see your command line is telling you isolate object is active and select object. So I'm going to click on this, and I can click on this line, and I can click on this door. I'm going to press enter, and now you see everything is hidden except these three objects. So what isolate command does is sometimes you have a big and huge project and you want to just focus on one particular area and you don't want to see the rest of the drawing. What you can do is you can isolate that particular area or those particular objects, so you can only focus on those objects. And once you're done with that, then right click, go to isolate, and just click on end object isolation. Everything will be back. So for example, if I want to just work on this particular area, like this room and this furniture, so what I'll do is right click, go to isolate, isolate object, click on this, and press enter, and that's it. Now I can do whatever I want to do with this object, and I can do, select on the empty area, and nothing will be selected because everything is isolated. And you will notice here on left here, this is highlighted now. So this particular is highlighted, which means that isolation is enabled. So if I click on that now, you will see an option end object isolation. So I'm going to click on that and everything will be back. There's another option available in the same command. You have a hide object. So hide object will do opposite. For example, I'm working on this room. I want to hide this furniture. This is actually a telephone, and this and this. Press enter and those will be hidden. Rest of the drawing I can continue working on. So it's basically, opposite to isolating an object. Now, if I go to this, it is highlighted again. I'm going to click on that and I can click on end object isolation. End that and everything will be back. We also have pan and zoom. I'm going to click on pan. And now you see we have a hand. I can click on a left mouse button and I can pan around in my drawing area. I'm going to right click and now you notice that we have different options. We can click on zoom, 3D orbit, or we can trigger on these three zoom options. So like zoom extend. If I click on that, that will be applied. Right click, do a zoom original. You will see the zoom original will be applied. We also have a zoom window and I can just draw a window there and that will be zoomed in. The reason why we have these three options and also pan and zoom in 3D orbit, because while you are in a pan command, these are the most important or most frequently used options. So that's why they have that available. So if you want to get out from a pan command, right click and click on exit. Right click and you go to zoom command. Now if I right click again, you'll see the same options appear. Now we are in the zoom command. Also, I want to point out there is a slight line. So there's like a 3 commands on the first section and a 3 commands in the second section. And then we have an exit in the first section. So there's about 3 sections in this drop down menu. So I can go to 3D orbit, which basically in the 3D world that we're going to be using to orbit around in our drawing area. But for now, let's skip that. So right now I can see I can zoom in, zoom out by pressing the mouse button, the left mouse button, and then just drag the cursor up and down. I can right click and click on exit to get out. Next we have another steering wheel command. Click on that and you will notice there is some sort of a wheel which is following my mouse now. Well, this is good in a way where you want to navigate quickly with different commands and you want to have those commands handy all the time. For example, here we have a pan command. I'm going to click on that and now I'm going to click and hold the mouse button down and I can pan around, right? Let the mouse button go, you will get the mouse wheel back. Click on zoom and you can pivot around now to do the zoom. Let the mouse button go and you will have that steering wheel. We have some other commands like orbit, which is used in 3D, and we got walk, up and down, look, and center. So these commands are usually used in 3D world. And also I can click on this little menu here to bring more commands here. So say fit to window. So it's gonna fit the drawing to the window. Click here again and you have some increase walk and decrease walk. So we'll get to these in the 3D section of the course. I'm going to click on this cross button to get out from steering wheel. Right click and then you have some action orders as well. This is again that we're not going to talk about now, but you can create actions in AutoCAD. You got sub object selection filter, again 3D stuff, don't worry about that for now. Quick select. So a quick select will give you this dialog box, or you can call it a window. Here you can select according to color, layer, line type scale. You have a plot style, line type, transparency, and hyperlink. Well, let's just say I'm going to zoom in here. Now you see different colors for different type of objects. Like here we have a wall, okay? And you can see on the top here, the layer name is visible there as well. Now we haven't learned about layers. We will have a separate section for layers, but for now, just notice when I select something, the layer section changed and we have this by layer as well in a color section in the property section, okay? So if I right click and go to quick select, I can select by color or I can select by layer. So I'm going to select by layer. Check that option and then click on a value and then you will see all the layers available. And I'm going to go and select this panels underscore 201. I'm going to click OK. Now you notice one thing, that all the objects which were on this layer are selected now. So if I go and press E and enter, those walls will be erased. You can bring them back by undo command. So type U and then press enter, they'll be back. Now quick selection is pretty good when your project becomes really big and you want to quickly select all objects according to layer, color, or you have options like plot style, line weight, transparency. We will use this quick select when we will start our project. So just wanted to show you this option. Right click again and you have this quick calculator. It's very handy if you trying to do some mathematical work. That can help you as well. Let's click on this close button to close this. Right click, you got a find option And here, basically, if you have a text in a drawing area, you can type and then search for it, and you can also replace that with. Now this is something really common in a word processing software like Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. And pretty much on the web, you have option to, find for a word and replace it as well. Let's click on done to get out of it. This option in right click menu, we have options. I'm going to click on that and you'll see options window coming up. This is basically a preference for your AutoCAD. I'm going to switch between files, display, open save, plot, and publish. System user preferences. Well, these options require a separate video because there's a lot to cover in this one. We will take a look at options and what are the things available here for us to customize in the later video. I'm going to click on cancel, and the same option can be triggered by clicking on this option. So that's basically the same window that you get while you click on options in a right click menu bar.